Recently, one of my streaming accounts got hacked. Every time I would go to watch something, the language settings would be changed. For a while, I would just change the language back to English and didn't think much of it. One day, it finally dawned on me that my account had probably been hacked. Lucky for me, it was an easy fix. All I had to do was log out of all devices and change my password. Then, a few months later, I received an email that my music streaming account was being used by an IP address at a location that I was definitely not at or had been to. Hacked again. Once again, it was an easy fix. But this was the final motivation that I needed to take a hard look at my approach to passwords on all of my accounts, to see if I could prevent this from happening again in the future. It turns out that my password had been compromised following a data breach on a completely different site. Things could have been a lot worse for me. Thankfully, these hackers were after movies and music instead of money. I had gotten lazy and was using the same password across multiple accounts, and I can embarrassingly say that I had the unrealistic, it won't happen to me mentality. So I want to share a few simple tips with you so that you can share them with your kids to instill good habits. Don't reuse your password across multiple sites. It's quite common for people to use the same password or a variant of it for years. And once a hacker has your password, all they have to do is plug it into as many websites as possible. Use a different password for every site. I know this might seem unfeasible, but there are password manager applications out there, like onepassword.com. Also, many web browsers offer their own password manager, which provides a similar solution. Of course, you can go old school and write all of your passwords down in a notebook, but you need to keep that somewhere secure. All of these options come with risk, but much less risk than using the same password everywhere. Always use two-factor authentication if it's offered. This means you have to have 2 ways to verify that it's actually you before logging in. This way, if your password is compromised, a hacker will be prevented from accessing your accounts because they won't have access to your phone or the Authenticator app. Don't store your debit or credit card information in your online accounts. This is especially true for debit cards since they generally don't offer the same protection that credit cards do. Sure, it's certainly easy to click the Save This Card for Later button, but it leaves you more vulnerable. And if you're not going to take any of this advice, at the very least, create a strong password. You can check out my video on creating safe and secure passwords for some tips.